Alright, I'm wasting no time here. Welcome to my California streaming Apple event recap from the least most exciting, well, I mean, of course, in my opinion, to the most exciting. Alright, so first, let's talk about what the most least exciting thing is, to me at least. And that is the iPad 9. And for most people, or not for most people, but yeah, for most people, this would be a great iPad. I'd say, for most people, I'd say either get this one or the iPad Air. So what's new? So instead of having an A12 Bionic chip like the old iPad 8, it now has an A13 Bionic chip, which is still ahead of the game in smartphone chips. And it has a new 12 megapixel ultra-wide front camera, but that's weird because it has an 8 megapixel back camera. That's odd. And it now has center stage because of this, which I think is great, but I also think it's weird because the iPad Air, much more expensive, does not have this feature. And not only that, but in center stage, it is compatible with more apps. Like, I'll give you some examples, like FaceTime, TikTok, Zoom, etc. All that good stuff. And instead of having no True Tone, it now has True Tone. And one of the bad parts for all those who like colors, there is no gold color. Now, it is the same price as before, $329, but instead of having 32 gigabytes as the base model, it is 64 gigabytes. All right, whew, that was a lot. All right, that's done with the iPad 9. We're done with the most excited. All right, what's next? All right, Apple Fitness Plus is a little more exciting because there are some good updates on this one. So now it'll be available in 15 more countries. I'm not sure the names, I'll probably put them up. And it'll be subtitled in 6 different languages. And they're adding Pilates, guided meditation, and workouts to get ready for snow season. And they're adding those workouts in Apple Fitness Plus. And they're also introducing something called group workouts so you can work out with your friends and stuff. Alright, we're done with that. Now let's get into Magsafe. So with Magsafe, it's just one thing. There's a new leather wallet, but I find this really well because just say it just detaches off of your iPhone 12 or 13. You will be able to use the Find My app to see where it last was and where it is now. Alright, so that's all with the Magsafe. That's literally all with the Magsafe. I mean, obviously there is more with everything else, but that is all with the Magsafe. Alright, let's get into the Apple Watch Series 7. Now this is actually a little more exciting. One of the reasons why, because it has so much thinner bezels. Like, look, I have an SE. Look, I don't know if you can see that, but look. I have an Apple Watch SE right there. That is kind of thick bezels. This literally reduces those bezels for 40%. Yes, 40%. In fact, I'll show you a picture right now of one of the watch faces that is optimized for, and also just another watch face too. It is super durable. It's almost like a rugged watch, but it's not. Sadly, no new design, but it's fine. It does have the new green color though. It has more rounded corners, so you can like if you're looking at your watch like this, you can see a little bit of the display actually, and it's not just bezel. And it has a wraparound effect. So basically what that means, it's almost like the display kind of wraps around. It's kind of like the Moto Edge, if you know what I mean. It can fit 50% more text on the display. So just say you're reading text messages off of your Apple Watch, right? You could fit 50% more text on the display. And there's actually now, since the display is so much bigger, I don't know how much millimeter size it is, you can actually fit an entire keyboard, well, I mean, not like this, obviously, but like an iPhone keyboard. It's like a mini iPhone keyboard, and they call it Quick Path. Actually some new watch faces to fit this right now too. And now this actually has much better dust resistance. It's IP6X dust resistance, which I think is very cool. Now, like I said, it has a new green color, but it also has a new blue color, which I'm not a big fan of. I don't really like lighter colors. I either like it's completely white or it's completely black. Or, you know, I like the Pacific blue on the iPhone 12 Pro. That was pretty cool. I meant to say 12 Pro, not 13 Pro. But yeah, I just think the green looks like a gross green. I don't like it, and the blue just looks like a lighter blue. But I do like how they kept the product red. That is pretty cool. Now, it is made with 100% recycled aluminum, and it still starts at $399. Now, here's the most hilarious part. Now, you might be wondering, did they keep the Series 6? They did keep the SE, which I'm glad about. But they kept the Series 3. Oh my god. That is so stupid. It is the same price. It is $200. The SE is $279. It makes sense. Great watch. But the Series 3 is $200. It's gotta be like worth $100 by now. Alright, now we're getting to the top 3. This is where it gets exciting. iPhone 13 and 13 mini, not the Pros yet, because that is much more exciting. Okay, now, yes, it does have the new camera diagonal design. That is pretty funny, too. It has a very funky design. It does have a smaller notch, and if I'm really being honest, well, first of all, I do kind of like it, but it kind of looks like the Pixel 3 notch, which, as we can see here, that does not look good. It's come in 5 colors. A couple of them are new. A brand new pink. It's very, very light pink. It's not like at first glance it doesn't even look like pink. Maybe like a little darker white, but kind of not gray. I don't mean that. Different blue, which I don't like. Black, pretty good. Just plain. White and product red. I gotta say, black, white, product red. Those are my favorite colors. Because the product red is the best product red that there has been ever, I think. Just 28% brighter. It has a new A15 Bionic chip. And actually, for some reason, they actually kind of lowered the cores for the regular 13 and 13 mini. It has 4 cores, is it GPU, I think? And the 13 Pro models, they have 5 cores. So I think that's pretty interesting. Anyway, so that's just the performance part. It has 47% more light on the new wide camera, which is honestly pretty crazy. And here's the craziest part. It has the same sensor shift stabilization as the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So if you're not a techie, here's what it means. So basically, if you have an iPhone 6 Plus, 6S Plus, and a 7 and later, you have this thing called stabilization. So basically what it basically moves the lens, because a lot of us are not good filmmakers. We kind of have like shaky hand motions. We're obviously not perfect. So basically Apple have fixed this by making the lens move. But with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, you know what they said? They said, no, we're making the whole camera sensor move. That's only with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Until now. That is coming to the 13 mini and the 13, which I think is very, very crazy. It has this super wide, ultra wide, which I think is pretty cool. And there's this new thing called cinematic mode, which is portrait mode video. So basically, you know how sometimes, you know, in movies there's like this blurred background, and then you look behind you, and then you're blurred out, and then the person is in focus. I'm probably not making any sense now. It's kind of like that, but it's also on the front camera too. But here's the thing, it's not in 4K yet. No! It is in 1080p at 30 frames per second, which I was sad about, but you know, I couldn't even tell when it showed in the event. Okay, it has better 5G, which I think is the best feature. No, if you can't tell, I'm being sarcastic. So, about battery life, this has taken a drastic improvement. It has 1.5 hours longer than the iPhone 12 mini. I'm obviously talking about the 13 mini. 2.5 hours longer than the iPhone 12, the iPhone 13 I'm talking about. And it is the same prices as last year. And they reduced the iPhone 12 mini to $600. That is crazy. So in case you don't know, 13 mini base model gonna be $700. 13,800. But here's the thing, it comes with double the base storage. So instead of 64 gigs, they got rid of it. 128 gigabytes. That is crazy! And they're also snuck in a 512 gig model too. So, alright. Now we're getting to the top two. This is where it gets exciting. We're talking about the 13 Pro and Pro Max. I was about to say 12 there. Man, it felt like yesterday when those came out. It's hard to believe that it was a little over 11 months ago. Alright, now first let's talk about the four colors. You know, there's graphite, there's silver, there's gold. Actually, admittedly, a better gold than the 12 Pro Max and 11 Pro Max. The 11 was too rich, 12 Pro Max was too bland. But this is a new Sierra Blue, which, you see, I'm not a huge fan of these colors, but I mean, a lot of people do like these colors. I don't. I usually just go for the black or the white. That's what I like. Usually the black or the graphite. But yeah, that's pretty cool, honestly. It does have way bigger camera sensors. And the telephoto lens is actually 3x instead of 2x or 2.5x on the 12 Pro Max. And finally, we have a Pro Motion display. So in case you don't know what that means 120 hertz, which in case you don't know what that means, that basically just means the speed of your scrolling. I mean, obviously the average person would not know. This is only for the pros, guys. So basically, what it has an adaptive refresh rate. So only when it needs it, it'll have 120 hertz, but when it doesn't, it'll slow down, which I think is great. So that is an adaptive refresh rate. It's a great way to save battery, but it's also a great way to have the best scrolling experience and the best experiences on your phone. There is a macro mode on the ultra wide camera, so basically you can go up to 2 centimeters and take a great macro shot. But honestly, there is something much more important we gotta talk about the ultra wide camera. Something that it's always needed ever since it came out. Is 1.8 f aperture. That is what we needed, Apple. Thank you so much. We needed it so much. That is just crazy. Alright, next we got Photographic Styles. Now, it's kind of hard to explain, but basically you can set the style to be, you know, rich, vibrant, you know, etc. Just all that stuff. It's good stuff. Now, this actually also has macro slow-mo, which it's what it sounds like. It's macro mode, but slow-mo, which I think is also very cool. Alright, now let's talk about battery life. The 13 Pro is 1.5 hours longer than the 12 Pro, and the 13 Pro Max lasts 2.5 hours longer than the 12 Pro Max. And if you look on their website, it says 28 hours of video playback. That is the longest ever in an iPhone, which it's just crazy. Like, I just love how they reduced it on the 12 when obviously they could have put a battery like this. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not complaining. I'm just saying they could have made it at least a little bigger, because it wasn't like that they were going to make the 13s smaller than the 11s. I mean, that would just be cruel. Alright, now there's no plastic in the packaging, obviously, because of the environment. It's going to be the same prices, so $1,000 for the Pro, $1,100 for the Pro Max, and there's actually going to be a new 1 terabyte option that was also rumored. And you can pre-order all of these on Friday. So what is the lineup? iPhone SE sits at $399. iPhone 11, they kept it, sits at $499. iPhone 12 mini starts at $599. iPhone 12 starts at $699. iPhone 13 mini also starts at $699, so it's gonna be a little hard to choose. iPhone 13, I wrote it as $133, starts at $799. iPhone 13 Pro starts at $999, and the 13 Pro Max will start at $1099, which is great. So that is not all. Remember, we're doing this in order of least exciting to most exciting. To me, that is probably what I'm gonna save up for. The iPad Mini 6. Yes, it is finally out. So, okay, let's just talk about it. First of all, I was wrong about the thing. It is not in the video. It is not a smaller version of the iPad Air. It does have an iPad Air 4 like design though. It has 4 colors. It has pink, purple, starlight, and space gray. I like the space gray though. It has a flashlight, unlike the iPad Air, which is very weird. So they must be planning an iPad Air 5 soon with a flashlight, because for a while now that has been a Pro exclusive. It has True Tone display, Touch ID in the lock button, 5G, which the iPad Air 4 does not have, a USB-C port, the 12 megapixel ultra wide camera for the front camera, center stage, which iPad Air does not have, and also iPad or center stage in more apps like the regular iPad. Stereo speakers, 2nd generation Apple Pencil, all for $500. That is crazy. Very, very crazy. I'm sorry, but peace.